Их деструктивные замыслы очевидны, они их особенно и не скрывают.
The Western countries' destructive plans are obvious. They don't particularly hide them, aiming to gain absolute control over Bosnia and Herzegovina, deprive the Serbs of their rights guaranteed by the Dayton Accords, and attempt to turn the country into a unitary state with a compliant government and obedient judicial and other authorities. This has led to the sharpest political crisis in the country over the last 30 years, which, without exaggeration, threatens the destabilization of the entire Balkan region.
Который чреват без преувеличения дестабилизацией всего Балканского региона. Мы жестко осуждаем попытки посредством сфабрикованных уголовных дел отстранить от власти неугодных Западу сербских лидеров, в частности, нашего сегодняшнего собеседника.
We strongly condemn attempts to remove undesirable to the West Serbian leaders, in particular our colleague, our friend, the legally elected, legitimate president of the Republika Srpska, Milorad Dodik, from power through fabricated criminal cases. It is remarkable that this attempt is made under the pretext of accusing Mr. Dodik of committing a criminal offense. As formulated by Mr. High Representative for Bosnia and Herzegovina Christian Schmidt,
Господин Schmidt, заключается в том, что
the criminal offense consists in Mr. Dodik not complying with Mr. Schmidt's orders and decisions.
We highly appreciate everything the Russian Federation has done concerning this complex situation in which Russia finds itself. I want to say that the Republika Srpska and our democratic electoral system have not allowed Bosnia and Herzegovina to formally impose sanctions against the Russian Federation throughout these years. Bosniak Muslims have independently acted on the international stage, contrary to the internal functioning principles of Bosnia and Herzegovina, sometimes independently adopting international acts, but Bosnia and Herzegovina never decided to impose sanctions against the Russian Federation. The Republic of Srpska did not allow them to do so.
Nikada nije donijelo odluku o tome da se uvedu sankcije Ruskoj Federaciji. Republika Srpska je to onemogućila putem sistema odlučivanja u Bosni i Hercegovini. Mislimo, mi Srbi i Republika Srpska misli da smo danas zaista u jednom ne samo delikatnom, nego i ključnom trenutku. Mi ćemo izaći na referendum kome ćemo odbaciti okupaciju. Mi se nalazimo pod okupacijom.
We, Serbs in the Republic of Srpska, think that we will go to a referendum because we are under occupation. We have a foreigner Schmidt making decisions. The deputies fought to ensure that one person could not decide for everyone. There were only two violations of this. It was Hitler who imposed decisions and laws, and in the second case, Schmidt, who is doing this in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Both are Germans.
Заявление о том, что все беды на этой планете проистекают.
There are numerous statements that all the world's woes stem from the behavior of the Russian Federation. There are also many fake news stories being implanted into global public opinion, used in the United Nations to hinder the work of this international organization. Among the recent examples is the notorious investigation of terrorist acts on the Nord Stream gas pipelines. It has been almost 3 years since those events. However, it is now being acknowledged that these were indeed terrorist acts. Even Germany admits it. Yet, there is no transparency in the investigation and no attempt to allow the Russian side, at our requests, to participate in the inquiry since the Russian side was the owner of these pipelines. Seeking the truth is not what the West engages in anymore. Recently, there was a claim about supposedly endangering European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, who was traveling by plane or helicopter to different states inciting them against our country. It was suddenly claimed that Russia had turned off the GPS, risking an aircraft crash. Later, representatives of the European Union themselves debunked this nonsense, but these methods remain.
Правда, это уже не то, чем Запад занимается. А вот недавно совсем Урсулу фон дер Ляйен чуть мы не угробили, который летал тут на самолете или на вертолете по разным государствам, наускивая их против нашей страны. И вдруг заявили, что Россия выключила GPS, и самолет или вертолет мог потерпеть крушение. Потом сами же, кстати сказать, представители Евросоюза эту дурь дезавуировали, но методы остаются такими. Самозванец Шмидт, которого Совет Безопасности не назначал, любой не назначенный Советом Безопасности.
Schmidt is an imposter, who was not appointed by the UN Security Council. Anyone not appointed by the Security Council, calling themselves high representatives, lacks any authority. This impostor decided that anyone disagreeing with his decisions on any matter, in other words, anyone who disagrees with him, falls under criminal article. How do you like that? Mr. Dodik described in detail the background of this character, his political career, and his historical biases. But I can say only one thing. In this person, we see the embodiment of the West's policy of carrying out color revolutions, or, to be plain, coups. In 2014, there was a coup in Ukraine. It probably doesn't need much reminding. It is well known how the legitimate president of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych, was overthrown. President of Russia, Vladimir, Putin recently recalled this again in his speeches at various forums. He, Yanukovych, was overthrown for not wanting to join NATO and not wanting to join the European Union at the expense of deteriorating his economic and trade relations with the Russian Federation. He wanted to find a balance of interests, but the West wants no balance and considers no interests but their own.
В своих выступлениях на различных форумах свергнут за то, что не хотел вступать в НАТО и не хотел вступать в Евросоюз за счет ухудшения своих экономических, торговых отношений с Российской Федерацией. Хотел найти баланс интересов. А Запад не хочет сказать никакого баланса, никаких интересов, кроме своих. Мое послание и Республике Сербской, и Федерации мусульмано-хорватской заключается в том, что надо иметь совесть и выполнять требования международного сообщества, которые, я еще раз подчеркну, обеспечили создание государства в Боснии и Герцеговине на основе баланса интересов трех государствообразующих народов. И разрушать консенсус, который лежит в основе Боснии и Герцеговины, является, по большому счету, преступлением, потому что это приглашение к очередной...
My message to both Republika Srpska and the Muslim Croat Federation is to have a conscience and comply with the requirements of the international community, which, I emphasize again, ensure the creation of the state of Bosnia and Herzegovina based on a balance of the interests of the three founding peoples. Destroying the consensus that underpins Bosnia and Herzegovina is, in large measure, a crime because it provokes another war in the Balkans. It is an attempt to destabilize the situation, provoke a forceful scenario, and then, I have no doubts, and they, Western countries, do not hide it, use this forceful scenario, using military force, to suppress the Serbs and their rights, as is happening now in Kosovo. Therefore, the message is this: all those involved in politics in Bosnia and Herzegovina, be decent people and fulfill your obligations. I also want to mention the referendum Republika Srpska and President Dodik plan for October 25th, asking citizens to determine whether they support the course that the leadership of this republic is undertaking. I consider this to be fair.